Good morning to Jamie O'Hara. Right, Haaland says the second half wasn't good enough. What do you think?
Yeah, look, they'd obviously want to be better. I think the performance was really good first half. Second half, they dropped off a bit. Look, they concede at the end, which kills them. But I actually thought they'd done all right. I thought they played well. It's a tough place to go, Monaco. Away from home. It's not easy. They've had some big games, some big fixtures recently, and they're still a side who are trying to find their feet, trying to find the cohesion as a new team that they've put together. I thought they'd done all right. Look, it's not the worst result in the world. As long as you don't lose at this stage in the Champions League, I think, just building on performances and getting through games, normally gets you through. And then the latter stages where it matters. But they're not the finished article. We know that. And this is a new Manchester City side that they're putting together. When you've got Haaland up front and he's scoring the goals that he scores, don't tell me that they can't win the Premier League and the Champions League.
But we're normally asking, are they the clear favourites to win the Premier League and the Champions League? At the moment, we're asking, are they genuine contenders
Of course,
for the big prizes?
They are 100% contenders. 100% contenders. They're more contenders for me than Arsenal are. They've won it. They've done it. They've been there. Pep's, dominated the Premier League. They've won the treble. They've had players there who have been there and been in them big moments. You cannot say that they are not contenders. All right, Liverpool, they've won the Premier League. That's what makes them the favourites. Arsenal have improved. They've got a decent squad. Manchester City are a top side with world-class players in their team. If they click, and they will click, they can be unstoppable. We've seen that. And when it comes to the business end of the season, like we've seen in the past, Manchester City and Liverpool, they know how to win. And that's the difference for me. That's why I think you cannot write them out of it at all.
If it's going to be very, very tight at the top of the table, how much are they going to regret conceding late goals? Brighton, Arsenal, Monaco.
Yeah.
There, I know that was Champions League rather than Premier League. The defence have conceded 8 goals this season. Arsenal have only conceded 3.
Yeah.
So that could come back to haunt them only 6 games in.
Yeah, look, we're seeing a lot of late goals, right? We are seeing a lot of late goals, and that is a worry for them. I think Liverpool have got the same situation. They do concede goals, and I think that is a problem that they've got to organise and get better at. I think, they tried to do it against Arsenal, really, where they really tried to sit in the second half. They ended up scoring. So, look, good teams and good players will unlock you somehow, and they'll find a way, and Manchester City will be disappointed. I think Donnarumma, though, coming in is, he's a big game player, and we're seeing flashes of what he's about. But let me tell you, when it comes to the business end of a season, Donnarumma, you saw it at PSG, he produces big saves in big moments, and I think he's a massive signing for them. So don't write them off. Arsenal, defensively, amazing. They have got an amazing back 4, back 5 with David Raya, and they're setting the standard, really, in terms of, not conceding goals. You just can't write off Manchester City.
Well, let's talk about the penalty decision against Nico Gonzalez, which ultimately cost City 2 points. Well, we're going to show it, actually. Pep Guardiola clearly wasn't happy about it. Listen to his thoughts about how the game ended.
We create a lot of chances considering what is the Champions League, and really pleased for that. But, of course, we were close that, and at the end we could not defend well the free kick, and maybe consider penalty anyway.
What have you said to the referee? Have you said anything to the referee about the penalty?
Nothing.
What are you able to give us your opinion on?
No.
It looked like the whole bench were exceptionally angry about it.
Nothing to say to the Spanish referees.
if you've got nothing nice to say nothing at all. I think that's what Pep Guardiola's idea was there.
Avoid.
We heard what you just said there. You think the penalty was harsh. Why?
Yeah, I do think it's harsh, because when you look at the referee didn't give a penalty, right?
No, referee
he didn't. The
VAR
referee,
gave it.
The VAR gave the penalty. So you've got to look at a clear and obvious error. That, for me, is not clear and obvious. That is not a clear and obvious error. Like, OK, the boot you can say is raised, but does he catch him studs up in the side of the face, leaving a mark? Is there even contact?
A high boot, as a kid, you're always taught a high boot is a foul regardless, and that was a high boot.
That's not true, is it? Because we saw the Chelsea game against Brighton, where there was a high boot.
But this is where the debate really comes in, because here's the Malo Gusto one here.
Yeah.
And it's...
That's way more of a penalty than Because that, for me, there is he's kicking with a high boot, and that looks like he catches him in the face with power, right? That one last night, I don't think that's a penalty, and especially because the referee doesn't give it. So if you're going to overturn that decision, that has got to be clear and obvious that he proper catches Eric Dyer in the face, and I don't believe he does. His boot's raised. But Eric Dyer's on his way down as well. He's trying to head down. So his boot's raised. I get it. He's not the best defender in the world. But to give a penalty for that, I think it's incredibly harsh. If you are catching someone studs up on the side of the face and you are connecting, fine, penalty. But you're given a penalty for that in the Champions League in the dying moments of the game. I felt that was very harsh on Manchester City. I don't think that's a penalty.
Again, I know it's different competitions. That's the Champions League and the Malo Gusto one was in the Premier League. But you can see how frustrating that must be when you compare one to the other and get different outcomes, and one is far worse.
Oh, 100%. How the Minter one isn't a penalty, I'll never know. But that's a penalty. The one last night's not. How can you get two completely different decisions from, really and truthfully, from the same sort of tackle in the same situation? That's what frustrates everyone with refereeing decisions, with VAR decisions. The fact that they go back, they look at it, they go back, they look at it, they slow it down, they look at it. The referee didn't give it. Last night, the ref didn't give it. Get on with the game. Play the game. It's harsh. You're going back, and we're just creating moments all the time when, you slow something down, you slow it down, eventually you're going to, oh yeah, there may be a slight bit of contact. If it's not clear and obvious, after looking at it once or twice, carry on with the game.
Well, after 11 o'clock, we'll have a proper chat about VAR, by the way, a big debate about it. There was a brilliant piece on the Sky Sports website, by the way, by Paul Merson, which you might want to read before we chat about that and get your views in as well. You know how to do that by now. But Sky Sports have partnered with Finalysis, an app where passionate fans share their opinions on their club. If you want to represent your club, scan the QR code or visit the Sky Sports app for more details. When you speak to a Manchester City supporter now, Nobbins. Nobbins, good morning to you. Sorry for that little slip of the tongue that I just gave there.
It's not good enough.
I get told that a lot, by the way. Erling Haaland was unhappy about the 2-2 draw. I've been defending it. Not many Premier League clubs get a win away at Monaco. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think I'm with you guys on how City actually played quite well, to be honest with you. First half was a lot better, second half was less so. But Pep was pretty spot on with his post-match press conference. We created a good number of chances. We scored twice. We hit the crossbar twice, forced the keeper into a couple good saves, limited Monaco to a penalty, a wonder goal, and I can't really remember too many other chances that Monaco had in the game. So considering it's an away game in the Champions League, considering that last season City were struggling in the Champions League in a similar set of games, I was actually happy overall with the performance, less so happy with the results, but I think I'm allowed to be pretty chill with the way the City played, especially given all the unknowns that we had going into this season.
Do you think there's a massive worry, though, with Manchester City right now, with the goals that you're conceding? I felt like it was the same last year, and I feel like it's the same this year. All right, Haaland's banging goals at the moment, so you're looking all right, but you can't keep conceding all the time. Look at Arsenal, 3 goals they've conceded this season.
No, yeah, definitely on the defence will have to tighten up. I guess the difference from last season would have been that last year I felt that the reason why goals would be conceded just generally and late on was more of like a flaw in like the system and the overall squad building. Whereas so far this season, it's been, for the most part, like little silly individual errors, whether it was like the Arsenal positioning on the goal or whether it was Nico raising his foot to give away the penalty at the end. So I do think there is a bit of a fundamental difference in the manner of the goals that City are conceding. So I'm not too worried about it.
Haaland said that you were lacking energy, though, and that's from, one of your key players saying that. Does that worry you? Because it doesn't seem to be an excuse for that.
I don't know if I'd agree, to be fair. I do think that we dropped off second half. I don't think that necessarily means that you're fundamentally lacking in energy. Maybe relative to the first half, sure, but I think that's just naturally how football tends to operate, especially if you're dealing with players who've started consecutively for the past however many games. I think that Haaland's just a winner. He's a bad loser, which is a good thing, by the way. The best winners are bad losers. And he scored 2 goals. He'll have seen that he's done his job and he's just annoyed his team haven't got over the line in such a frustrating way as well.
You've been watching Haaland for a few seasons now. Is he at his very best since he's joined you?
I think so. He's sort of like replicating that goal scoring from his treble season, but he's also combining it with like this overall play vibe. Pretty good for a League Two footballer, of course, and the off-ball work as well has been pretty exceptional. That's something that City fans have been criticising him. Sometimes fairly, sometimes not. But the off-ball work and the defensive work as well, like the amount of times that it's a corner and it'll be Haaland clearing it out out of danger's way. So, yeah, this has arguably been Haaland's best start to his City career for sure. More all-rounded as a player.
Foden being back on form as well was massive for Manchester City. He was poor last season. And when you see him back playing the way he can play, he's a massive asset to have.
Yeah. And if City are going to win anything this season, then it can only be done with our best players performing at their best. And Foden is one of City's best players, and he's got to be that guy. As I say, there are a number of reasons why he wasn't particularly good last season, but this year he seems to have rediscovered his joy, as Guardiola said. He's been fantastic the past few games, and he's shown different facets to his game as well. Like at Arsenal, it was this brilliant overall defensive displays like a right wing back. Against Napoli, he was this imperious number 10 connector. And I thought he had a really solid game yesterday as well. Unfortunate that Monaco's last-ditch defending was so good. He was unfortunate to hit the crossbar. And yeah, it's good to see the old Foden back.
You are conceding a few goals. It's not crisis time. But what is your best defence, in your opinion?
It depends what you're after. So the right-back is a big source of contention for lots of City fans. And I think it depends like which shape you want to get into. If you need a more offensive right-back to like hold the width out there, the only option is Núñez, which isn't ideal because I don't think he's necessarily good enough for City at right back. If you want a more defensive option, then you are looking at a centre back playing there, whether that's Kusanov, whether that's Stones, and there's even a third option where if you need like an inverting right back, then Lewis can play there as well. So I actually don't know the answer to that question. I think it's more so what sort of shape do you want City to be in, then that probably informs what your best defence is really.
Yeah. OK, and we better end with that penalty. What did you think?
Very annoying. I will say that the first thing I'd say is it's City's own fault that they didn't kill the game. I don't like blaming referees, and you shouldn't have to rely on the referee making the correct call or whatever in like the last minute or so of a game. You have to accept that contentious decisions will happen. I on a subjective level, I don't think it's a penalty, but I accept that based on the rules, it probably is one of those. Like Nico shouldn't be doing what he does, but at the same time, he wins the ball. So you're sort of putting the footballers in a situation where if Eric Dyer puts his head in for it, then there's nothing that you can do to win the ball. And that just seems like a weird state of play for refereeing. So it's an annoying one to concede. I don't think it's a penalty, but I get it.
We've had a WhatsApp from Howard who says if Jamie O'Hara was Eric Dyer, he'd have been screaming for that penalty.
Absolutely. Fell down, broken nose. That's it, ref. It's a stone wall.
It is one of those, isn't it? Like if it's given for your side, like you want it, you're crying for it, you're shouting for it. But if it's against you, then you're like, it's a disgrace to the game and the game's gone and all that stuff. So it's just one of those.
Well, that's football. Robbins, thank you.
Thank you, guys.